I'm 34. I'm a dad. I've got another one on the way. I work a full-time job in property management. It's very stressful. And somehow I decided that now at 34 is the perfect time to get into Warhammer 40K. Probably not one of the most practical decisions I have made. Only because there's so much that goes on with this hobby. But I have always been a nerd. I always play video games. I love fantasy, science fiction, collecting things, and getting lost into like fictional worlds. And Warhammer has been sitting there waiting for me to finally take the pledge. And welcome to the Grimdark journey. So I know what you're wondering. Who is this guy and why is he making this video or making this channel? So before we get into the Warhammer, I figured I should probably tell you a bit about me. My name is Mike. I am 34 years old. Like I said, I'm a dad. Another kid coming on the way. I also work full-time in property management. Like I said, if you guys don't know that, it's very stressful. I handle work with a lot of people. Between work, family, and everything else that comes with life, finding time for hobbies hasn't always been the easiest. I've always been into video games. I've always been the nerdy guy. I always liked fantasy and science fiction, but as life gets busier, I kind of stopped making time for some of those things. And I think a lot of people can probably relate to that. Get older, you have more responsibilities, work gets busier, family takes up a lot of your time. If you are a family man, then you know what I mean. Your dad or mom, even, that can go both ways. And sometimes the things that you used to love just gets pushed to the side. Don't make it seem like they push to the side. It's just that sometimes you have to like put things first on the hierarchy of responsibilities. And recently I decided I wanted to change that because I worked a lot of hours. I spent a lot of time with my family. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I love it. I love my family. But just sometimes, sometimes you just need something for you and for you to work on and for you to get better at. I want to find something that I could actually sit down, work, and learn and enjoy. And that's where Warhammer comes in. Before this whole Warhammer thing that I started about a month ago-ish or so, getting into it, I was a really big D&D guy. That was a lot of my time, a lot of my hobbyists, I guess you can say, like hobby time was D&D. I love D&D, and I played for a few years. So there was 3-4 campaigns that I was in that each one of them lasted like a year or like almost a year, because D&D tends to everyone gets a busy life, so you kind of stop and you kind of just go down that rabbit hole, and sometimes you do it every week, and then sometimes you do it every other week, and then once a month, and then you just fade out to nothing. So two campaigns every week, once a week, sometimes twice a week. Another one was one of those we try to do it every week, and then we stopped for a little bit, and then we kept on going. So I was really big into D&D, and honestly that's probably what eventually led, not probably, but that is what actually led me here. I loved everything about D&D, the storytelling, the characters, the worlds, monsters, the battles, roll for initiative. You may certainly try. That was it. I love it when our DM was, you may certainly try, or you can try and roll the dice. It's just so cool. And rolling a terrible number at the worst possible time is the worst thing. I got this great idea, I'm gonna roll one. But it was a lot of memories. It was a lot of good times. But one of the things I always loved about D&D was the miniatures. I always thought it would be really cool to actually learn to build and paint them, but I never really took that next step. I mean, I did have miniatures. Obviously I had miniatures because I only base coated the miniatures. I didn't really get too deep into the whole painting thing, and that was one of the things that I really, really want to get into. But during that time is when we just had our first kid, so time consuming and hobby and everything like that kind of and work kind of just mixed all together, and finding time to do that seriously was a lot of time it was a lot of time constrictions. So basically the whole Warhammer thing started was from a friend of mine who was the DM for the 2 campaigns that we did that was over a year. He was the one who really started to push me towards Warhammer, because he was because before he's a DM, but his main thing was Warhammer. He loved Warhammer. That was his main thing. His main game, his main hobby was Warhammer. He just did DMing and D&D for like a side gig, you can say, but he liked both of them, but his main is Warhammer. He introduced me to the hobby. He started showing me the models, the armies, the lore, and everything that comes with it, and I just realized, wait a minute, this might be actually something I would really enjoy. I mean, I already like gaming. I already like fantasy and science fiction. I already like D&D. I wanted to learn to paint minis, and then I discovered that Warhammer basically combines all of those things into one giant hobby. But like I said, I always knew what Warhammer was. I knew about, like, you know, Space Marines. I knew a little bit about the Emperor. I knew that there was like these crazy giant armies of like all these miniatures and everything like that. Obviously the video games, painting the miniatures and whatnot, but I never really took like a full dive into it. And I think that's what makes this so interesting for me, because once I actually started getting into the lore, I realized just how massive the universe is. What I mean by massive, the universe, I mean like massive of how big this universe is. Like, I don't think I can explain how big this is. For example, there's like, I think for the Horus Heresy series, there's like 54 books or something like that. And just for one series. There's also the Siege of Terra series, which I think is like 7 books. And then you have like these Orc books. And I know there's a whole bunch of books out there that is just probably, I don't know, I'm assuming like in the hundreds maybe. I mean, you start learning about the Emperor, then the Primarchs, and then the Great Crusades, then Horus. You learn about Horus and Horus Heresy. We all know who that is. But if you don't, that's fine, because I didn't really know until not too long ago. I read Horus. I read Horus Rising, False Gods, and I'm actually on Galaxy in Flames, chapter 4. Yep, I'm on chapter 4. Getting the game pretty seriously with Vesta 3. I think I'm saying that right. I'm gonna say this totally wrong. I'm new here, so don't judge me. Is Tavin 3? I know that's a big thing, because that is the thing right before the drop site massacre. And I can honestly say that like the reading list is longer than some people's college textbooks. I mean, like, these are just so massive of a universe, and just books. As you know, that there is going to be the animation on Prime because of Superman, Henry Cavill Superman, and because, you know, obviously he's a big Warhammer guy. So I think that is so cool how like this dude, his greatest passion, well, maybe not greatest passion because I know acting, but like I guess you can say like Tide, he literally loves this, and it's like one of his passions, and that he literally said, hey, I'm gonna make a TV show out of it. And I know it's been a long road, but he's actually doing it, and it's pretty flippin' cool. And just me, I think like the lore is probably one of the biggest things that pulled me into Warhammer, because like there's just so much. I remember the first video, I was like, history and lore of Warhammer, and like the first video I saw was like 2 hours and a half long, and I was like, that is so that's like a full-blown movie, you know. So I knew there was gonna be like so much to do with it. So like there's something really interesting about a universe where humanity is basically fighting for survival, where you have the Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, well, just chaos in general. Like, as you know, like chaos is like the plague. Like basically it's like all around us. That's driving everything. You got the Tyranids, Necrons, the Eldar, and an entire galaxy that is basically just constantly at war. Like that idea is just so mind-boggling to me. It's so dark. Like, I mean, like that's what they say, like in the Grimdark future, like just like not an ending of war. You start getting into the characters like Sanguinius, Liam Russ, Rugal Dorn, Gilliman, Magnus. Did Magnus do anything wrong? He did everything wrong. I love the memes. There's so many memes for it. And obviously Horus. I mean, without Horus, there would not be a Warhammer 40K universe. Like, without Horus, so much stuff would have been possible in a bad way. And the more I learn, the more questions I have. Like, whenever I read or I look up something and I see something, it just makes to find out an answer to my question. I just get more questions because I want to learn more stuff about what I see. And that's actually going to be a big part of this channel. I want to learn the lore, but I don't want to just read it and move on. I want to bring you along while I'm learning it, so then maybe we can discuss it. You can give me some pointers in the comments of stuff that I don't know, and obviously I'm gonna get some stuff wrong here. So if I'm doing anything wrong, let me know what I'm getting wrong so I know about it. So if you're asking yourself, where am I actually right now? Well, as I stated, I read Horus Rising, I have read False God, and I'm continuing through the Horus Heresy, like I said, Galaxy in Flames, chapter 4. And I want to take what I'm learning and turn it into videos. So if you're someone who's completely new to Warhammer, maybe we can learn it together. That'd be awesome. And if you're already a Warhammer veteran, please don't destroy me in the comments. I already know I'm probably going to get something and maybe a lot of things wrong, but that's okay. This is what this whole channel is about. It's about the journey for me, and maybe for yourself if you want to work on it together. Another big part, the second big part besides the lore, is actually the miniature painting journey. I've also started getting your side of the hobby. I picked up Space Wolf's Combat Patrol, and I have I started building them and painting them. The only ones that I did not paint yet for that set is the woven, and I literally just primed them today. And so I'm gonna hopefully start painting them later on today, hopefully maybe after editing this video. Let me tell you, I have learned a good amount since I started building and painting them. I've been learning a lot, about the base coats, obviously, and washing, shading, dry brushing, edge highlighting, which I didn't even attempt to do the edge highlighting. I just basically been doing the base coating, a little bit of shading and dry brushing, because I don't feel confident yet to dry the edge highlighting, but I'm hoping that will change. All the little techniques that professional painters make look incredibly easy, because if you watch Miniature Masters, that's that new show about painting miniatures, and it's basically like Ink Master, but just painting miniatures. It's really good show, and I'm watching these people on this TV show, and it's motivating me, but at the exact same time it dismotivates me, because I paint my miniatures and I'm just like, wow, they don't look like what they paint. But then again, I always have to tell myself, it's not gonna look like them, it's not gonna look like theirs. You're new, you're not gonna start off just like that. So this is why, another reason why a big part of this channel is going to be the painting of the miniatures and how much I will improve with that. I'm not an expert painter. I did not expect my first miniature to look really good, but that's actually what I'm excited about. I want to look back at these first miniatures of a year from now and hopefully be able to say, wow, I actually got better. So that is the goal, the year goal for this project. Obviously, I'm a video gamer. I love video games. I can honestly say I'm a big RPG guy, but Dead Space, I love Dead Space, horror games. No way I'm getting into Warhammer without playing the Warhammer video games. Obviously, I'm gonna play Warhammer Space Marines 1 and 2. I heard Dark Tide, Dawn of War, Bolt Gun. So those, I know I'm gonna make some gaming videos of that. And like I said, I'm gonna bring all those games to my channel. Some I probably like, some I probably won't like. So I know some of you are thinking, so what exactly is the Grimdark journey channel going to be about? It's going to be my journey through Warhammer. I'm going to learn the lore, going to paint minis, going to build some armies, going to play Warhammer video games. Eventually, I want to do the tabletop gaming. I can record that too. I want to try different armies. I want to learn different painting techniques. I want to build my collection. I want to read the books. I want to explore the factions, and I want to take you along for all of it as well. I don't want this channel just to be me telling you what Warhammer is. I want you to actually see the progress, see the mistakes, see the bad paint jobs, see the models that actually turn out good, and hopefully see me get better at just everything in general with it. So I do have, my main thing for the channel is the 1 year challenge, and that's what I really want to do with it. I want to document the next year. Right now I don't know everything about Warhammer. I don't know how to paint like a professional. I haven't played hundreds of tabletop games besides D&D. I haven't read books until now. I just got 2 underneath my belt, but I'm starting. This is where I'm starting from, and 1 year from now I want to come back to this video. I want to look at this miniature, and I want to look at my first video and see how far I've actually come. And honestly, there's another reason why I'm doing this. Like I said, life gets busy, you get caught up at work, you have responsibilities, you have a family, and before you know it, the years have gone by. And I don't want to look back and realize I never made time for things I enjoy. Like I said, I'm a dad. I have another child coming. I work full time, and I know my time is limited, but I also think that's exactly why it's important to make time for things that you enjoy. So this channel is partly about Warhammer, but it's also about starting something new, learning something, and seeing where it takes me. That's the beginning. Like I said, 34, dad, work full time. I got another little one on the way, and I'm just starting Warhammer 40K. Is 34 too late to get into this? I have no idea, because I know people have been playing this for like 20 years. So, and I'm pretty sure maybe some people as long as I've like been alive. So that's kind of intimidating. But you have to start somewhere. I feel like you're never old to start something new. So I think I'm okay, you know, and I don't know where this journey is going to take me. I mean, maybe I'll build a huge army. Maybe I'll become a decent painter. Maybe I'll become obsessed with the lore. Maybe I'll find an army I completely fall in love with. And maybe I'll eventually get destroyed on a tabletop game. But right now, I have a Space Wolf army coming along. Almost done with the combat patrol. I also got 3, I guess you can call them like commanders or lead characters. I don't know the exact word for it yet, but I'm ready to build those and paint them up. But whatever happens, I want to document it. So if you're interested in Warhammer, if you're learning to paint, if you're getting into the lore, if you're a gamer, or maybe just someone who wants to start a new hobby, come along with me on the journey. This is day 1. And this is where it starts. Okay guys, well thanks for watching this little introductory video, and I'll see you on the next one.